Hey everybody, it is time once again for lunch therapy. Thank you, everybody. No, that's enough. Thank you. Yes, we got to get on with the show. We got a big show today. The show is Interview Friday. Interview Friday is when we interview somebody here on the show. Today we have a very special guest. Mr. Kevin Sherman is here today to talk to us about all sorts of things. But first, let's do our breathing. We're going to take in 3 deep breaths. Make sure that you fill up your entire lungs. If you're standing up, put your feet on the floor. If you're sitting down, put your feet on the floor. Feel your toes in the ground. And here we go. Breathe in through the nose. Try and get all that air into every part of your lungs and let it go. Breathing in again. And let it all out. One more time. Hold it. And let it out. Okay, I feel better already. Like I said, it is Interview Friday. A couple of things in the lunch therapy community. Brian Keaton, good friend, is doing a workout every Saturday and Sunday morning at 10 a.m. We're doing it through Zoom. It's free. Invite anybody that wants to come, anybody in the world, even our listener, Ben Gervich, who's over in Australia. Come on in. It might be the middle of the night for you. I don't know. But just 10 o'clock Saturday and Sunday morning. Instant message me. Send me an email at mythclub@gmail.com, whatever you guys, however you want to contact me. Also, Jeff Lohman is doing a trivia night. He's doing it from Oman. But, of course, in our community, anybody can go do trivia night with Jeff Lohman and many other people. It's going to be super fun. So instant message me. Send me an email, whatever you guys want. We got some people in our chat room. This is great. Good to see you. I see my sister-in-law, Heather, is here. So great to be here with you, Heather. We're going to head right into the interview. And the interview is with Kevin Sherman, one of my favorite people. And here we go. All right, here we are. This is an interview, another in the series of interviews with my friends. I have here Kevin Sherman, longtime friend of mine. Kevin, I'm so glad to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. Love your show.
Hey, thanks.
Big, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, it's so good to have you here. So you are living in Illinois now, is that right?
I am. I'm living in Evanston, Illinois. Not far. It's surreal, but not far from where I went to college. So
Northwestern.
That's right. Every day I walk outside. Actually, I don't walk outside anymore. But every day that I used to walk outside, it's like, oh, and then I did that over there and that over there. All things I can't say for on a family show.
Yeah, that must be really weird. It's that close to the campus?
Yeah, it actually. I mean, it's a bit north, but we're in Evanston. We're in the part of Evanston where Northwestern is, where I was there all the time. You went to University of Washington. Imagine if you lived
right there,
like on the Ave or whatever.
I'd be like, oh, I passed out in those bushes over there, and that's the place where I rolled the bowling ball down the street, and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's the place that we. That's funny because we lit a couch on fire and played bowled in the middle of the street.
Oh, yes.
Right outside our house. Yeah, the house dog. Yeah.
The house dog. Yeah, you just used to call it the house dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of that lingo from you guys because when I moved to Chicago, you were the only person I knew there, and your friends.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of the lingo that you're like college lingo, like the house dog, or they called you Archmunster or Archie.
Archie, like, no, I was never Archie in high school.
No, you were never Archie in high school. Like you did have the Archie sweater. You were the only person with a Letterman sweater.
Yeah, which I think, if anything, I was thought of more as Richie Cunningham in high school.
Yeah.
But at college, it was actually, there's people to this day that don't know my name is Kevin. They think my name is Arch.
Really? Everybody called you Arch?
Yeah.
That much?
Oh, yeah. And Archmaster.
Archmunster.
Archmonster. All that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
When did we meet? Do you know?
That's a good question. It would have to be Madrona. So eighth grade.
And did you move up from San Diego, or where did you come from?
I did. I came from San Diego. I grew up in Edmonds, but then moved to San Diego and then came back.
Oh wow!
So yeah, actually, I take that back. I grew up. Oh my God, I can't believe I got that wrong. I grew up in Kirkland, Washington.
Kirkland, okay.
Moved to San Diego, came back.
Wow. And then you were living over there by Robin Hood Lanes, where I don't know if Robin Hood, I don't think it's there anymore. But anyway, you were living over there, and I remember it was like on the what we used to call the Edmonds Speedway, which is that really fast road. I guess it was maybe Edmonds Way or something. And there was a sign outside.
Yep.
It said, Donald Duck Ranch, something.
Less. Yeah, Donald Duck Ranch, less the something and the eggplant.
Who came up with that?
And you'd think that was that'd be the coolest guy ever, right?
Yeah.
He was like a nothing burger. He was not even
really.
The only interaction we ever had with him is one time he accused us of chopping down his trees and selling them for firewood.
No.
Which I wish we had come up with that, but no.
Yeah. Well, you guys lived kind of back in the kind of woodsy
in the woods.
Area.
Yeah.
I remember we thought your house was the coolest place in the world because it was it was off of that really fast thing. You had to go really fast and take a turn and get into your driveway. But once you got in there, it was like you were in, I don't know, Vietnam or something. There was so much growth. And you go in there and your house had all these books and your dad was hilarious. Your dad it was like nobody we knew. I mean, I guess he was sort of a stereotypical New York Jew, I guess.
Yeah. Brooklyn.
A bagel with lox, and no one we knew did that. We just were not.
Right.
We just didn't have we just didn't have that culture where we were.
Yeah.
So he was exotic.
Right. There's not that. I don't think there are many Jewish people in Edmonds.
No, and the Jewish people that we knew were like Rob Fall. Who was
right,
a New York
Rob Fall.
Jewish person.
Yeah,
that was my idea of a Jewish person.
Yeah,
he was, and
so
your dad was like nobody that I knew at the time. We were kind of in our little bubble,
Yeah, he's, for me, he was my dad, so not as cool as you guys. Everybody always thought my dad was so cool.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, I guess, all right, whatever.
Yeah, and then he also had the Cliff's card room.
Right.
So he had this
that was cool.
lifestyle.
Yeah, I know. It's right.
So we were like, what is going on here? This is not like our parents.
Right. Yeah. So he ran a poker room.
Yeah.
In Seattle called the Hideaway.
The Hideaway. Is that what it is?
Which is a kind of a cool name. Yeah. So I could see that now.
Yeah.
If I was you guys, I would have been like, he's the coolest dad
Plus,
ever.
he worked 6 months out of the year and then didn't work or something like that. Was that just a myth? Was that mythology?
I think that was a myth.
Okay.
I mean, he was always working at Hideaway.
Hideaway.
Yeah.
Why do I want to call
he wasn't Ken Inglum who would go, go fishing for 3 months and then come back. Does he still do that?
Does Ken Inglum still do that?
I don't know.
He was a legend.
Yeah. Speaking of him, him and Tom Jackson and Mark Samuelson, there were some others, maybe you too, I don't know, but we would go to we would go to Robin Hood Lanes and play video games after school.
Did you ever? Well, I guess the statute of limitations are up at this point.
Yeah.
But I went out to my dad's shop and I drilled a little hole in the quarter because he had a lot of tools because he's a metalsmith. So
I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
And then we put fishing line on it and we put it in the Defender machine and you could just bounce it up and down and get all the credits you wanted. It was the craziest thing.
That was awesome. Who came up with that idea?
I don't know.
Did you?
Somebody told me about it and they were using tape.
Because that was pre-internet. There was no hack.com to look on.
Somebody told me about it and I was like, okay, you know what? I think I can do that.
Because I was so good at Space Panic. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I remember you were.
Do you remember that game?
Of course. It was a great
Where
game.
You run around.
And you dig holes.
And you dig a hole. And one of these Pac-Man type looking things comes at you.
Yeah.
And you bury them.
Uh-huh.
And then they die. And you've got oxygen. It was like the greatest. I loved that game. Loved it. And I was so good at it.
You were really good at that.
But it took many thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah. It's very expensive to get good at those games.
Yeah.
Todd Hess had Dig Dug. Everybody had a game.
Todd was Dig Dug.
I was actually
what were you?
Crazy Climber.
Were you?
Yeah, I love that game.
I don't even remember that
climbs
game.
This building. I know.
Is it like a gorilla or just
There's a gorilla at the top of the building.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you're climbing, and the people try and throw pots on your head, and you're like, It took me a while to find out. I recently thought about that. Oh, wait, Crazy Climber, and I started looking around the internet. It was actually really hard to find.
Yeah.
Now you can find it. You probably play it on your iPhone.
Yeah.
But I love that game. So
and then Defender.
Yes.
So there was a guy in our actually Mr. Evans's class.
Steve Bludoff.
Yes, Steve Bludoff. So the greatest thing ever was we had to do demonstration speeches, and he did his on how to play Defender.
And he drew
drew it on the chalkboard, and
hyperspace.
He's like hyperspace, and he's like tapping on the wall, like this is your shooting.
It was like he's really playing.
And he's like, and the whole time I'm like, Mr. Evans would sit in the back, and he's just fuming, like I can't believe that's what he's doing.
Nemesis. That was his nemesis. It was the only guy. Everyone else loved Mr. Evans so much that we just would sit there quietly.
He was the greatest teacher ever.
Yeah.
But
and Steve Bludoff was just rude as hell. And we were all just like, why are you still rude to our friend?
I know. But I have to say, the Defender how-to was one of my favorite things ever.
I do it in my stand-up sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah, I do a whole bit about it.
That and...
I love it so much.
That and Doug Rubles are my two favorite.
What was his?
You don't remember his? My two favorite... Actually, three. I have three. I take that back. My three favorite were Steve Bludoff's How to Play Defender on a chalkboard. Matt Kite, How to Make a Peanut Butter
Sandwich. Peanut butter sandwich. Yes. That was the other one where I was like, wait a minute, why did I work on this at all?
I know. I worked so well. My how-to was how to juggle. And in some ways, that was probably the least effort I put into any of them.
You were a good juggler already.
But I just showed him how to juggle.
Yeah.
But so the Doug Rubles was, and by the way, where is Doug Rubel? I would love to talk to him again. Because I hung out with him a lot, actually.
I think he went to...
He reminds me of like John Denver or...
Yeah.
Or like a mountain man a little bit. Like I picture him with an axe.
I think he was married to Paula Venezuela.
Really?
Still, and they have kids, and they're somewhere.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did,
what did he do?
a voltmeter.
Oh.
So it's a device that measures the voltage of a battery. And
wow.
And he went through this whole thing on how to use a voltmeter, and he in detail, you hook it up, and then there's a reader here that explains the voltage level, and then you've got these other whatever, I don't even know, but he went through it in detail. And then at the end you always get asked questions, and so he said, are there any questions? And I'm pretty sure it was Ron McGee who said, yeah, what does a voltmeter do?
Right.
And he was like, I just did it. You could see on his, he didn't know what to do because it was like, do I need to go through the whole thing again?
That's what it's like to be a teacher.
Because I just did it.
I think that's what it is to be a teacher.
Yeah.
You just do the whole thing, and then they're like, who are you again?
Is this going to be on a test? Because do you have the notes? Can you just tell me everything? Yeah.
I had a traumatic.
What is a voltmeter? Yeah.
I asked my dad what I should do, and he said you should do the tap and die process. And I, to this day, don't know what the tap and die process is, but he gave me all these tools, and he was showing me all these things. And so I went in there to try and act like I knew what I was doing, and I had no idea. And I got really nervous and started shaking and sweating. And finally, Mr. Evans was like, he just kind of called it off.
Oh, wait. I do remember that.
And then he goes, does anybody have any questions? And Steve Blutoff raised his hand and said, yeah, I got a question. Were you playing the piano up there?
Steve Blutoff.
What he was talking about. I was like, I knew it was bad.
Because when Mr. Evans showed us the Romeo and Juliet movie, a rose must bloom and then must fade as dies the youth.
Olivia Hussey?
Yes. When she's naked.
Yes.
Blutoff was just like, he couldn't control himself. And Mr. Evans stopped the movie. He's like, that's it. You're out. Get out of this classroom. The movie is stopped. And we were like, not now. Not now.
Blutoff was just
Blutoff. I wonder where he is. The name is so perfect.
Where is he now?
It can't even be. It's like it's straight out of.
You couldn't make that.
Yeah, it's straight out of the Fast Times. That name.
I want to ask you something because one of the things about interviewing your friends is you can think of your memories like this one. Yeah. I do stand up about that demonstration speech, and you have corroborated with me, and a lot of it is true. I realized, this is not just made up. But also, you and I were going to busk at the Pike Place Market.
Yeah.
And we had our guitars, and we learned a bunch of Beatles songs. And we went and got a license. Did we not go down there and get a license?
Yeah. Well, because this is interesting, because what I remember is doing all that, but with Stuart Tesmer, not you.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Was it you, though?
No, what happened was you and I got it all together, and I was singing, and I was doing my best Stuart Tesmer impersonation. No, but we got
he's a physicist now. He's like a renowned physicist.
Wow. We got it all together. We were singing our songs, and then we got our licenses, and then I went home and told my mom, hey, we're going to do, and I didn't know the term busking or whatever. I was like, we're going to go down.
I actually haven't even heard that word before till just now.
I've just learned it recently.
Okay.
It's now my favorite word.
Yeah.
Because I did some comedy busking in Venice Beach.
Nice.
But anyway,
they do that in England. They've got an area in a park in London where you
speakers.
If you stand on a box, you can say anything you want.
See, we need these things.
As long as you're on a box, you can say anything you want.
So I need a box.
There's like some law actually, like you have to be a certain distance off the ground, and then you get off the Queen's Earth, so to speak. Then you can say anything you want.
I like it. I got to get a box.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were going to do this. I talked to my mom, and then she said, well, I don't want my son being a hobo.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. She was like,
so you and I were going to do it?
I don't think I want my son out there like a bum.
Yeah.
Out there, playing the guitar. She was really disappointed.
Yeah.
That's good. That was good. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I never did it, and maybe you then went on to do it with Stuart.
I did it with Stuart Tesmer.
That's what that was the question I had. Is like, whatever happened?
Yeah.
Did Kevin go do it? And you did.
I did. I did it with Stuart one time, and it was fine. Yeah. We set up we learned some songs like. If there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call me. From Me to You by the Beatles. That was one of them. And so, but we didn't know him well enough. So we had a music stand with the music. And we're just playing these stupid, silly, simple songs.
Yeah.
And, we played like 5 and then packed it up. And
That's
went
perfect
home.
because for me then, I just know, okay, that's what would have happened.
Yeah.
I would have gone out there busking.
Yeah.
Played some stupid, silly songs with a little music stand and then be like, this is,
yeah.
Do we make any money?
Yeah. We made,
we might put a marble in here.
I think we made like a quarter. Like, I think somebody threw like a quarter in our guitar case.
Oh, thank God. All right.
Which is that whole thing is funny because Stuart Tesmer and I, it's such an odd combination in a way. Like, I don't even know how that happened.
Maybe
but
because
clearly you did the legwork, and then
they were like, I need a replacement for the band. I need to replace my other guitar player. And you're like, you put an ad in the paper, and you got
Stuart Tesmer.
Yeah.
Replied, and now he's studying, some kind of quantum mechanics, I think.
Wow. The other thing I want to investigate is Jeff and I were talking about this Laser Who concert that we went to.
Yes.
And the chase scene that ensued afterwards. And I wanted to so Jeff was trying to write it up.
Yeah. No, I know. He asked me a couple questions too. Yeah.
Okay. So you were there.
Yeah.
I was there. Scott Amy
was there.
Was it his car?
It was.
And then Jeff.
His green car.
His green Oldsmobile.
Yeah.
It was the green Oldsmobile.
And Jeff, and maybe that was it, but for some reason I thought there was maybe
like
one other, but that might have been it. Yeah,
but
maybe
we'll find out.
Yeah.
So we went to the Laser Who concert, and I think we were kind of dicks. We went there, and I think we would yell things or something.
Yeah, before we got there, we were like, I don't even want it. Like, it was.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
To look back on it and go, wow, we were really idiots.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to be around those guys.
No. If the internet, like, we would have never gotten away with it today. Like, it would have been all over the internet. Our lives would have been over.
Right. Like that lady at the Apple store. Have you ever seen her where she just goes nuts about the part it's supposed to be not in heaven?
Yeah.
There would have been a lot of that of us.
Yeah.
Just acting like,
because we were
spoiled, like cul-de-sac kids.
Entitled. Yeah.
So
we had a good time.
Oh man, it was
we
fun.
had fun.
I'm still laughing about it right now.
Yeah.
So on the way home, though, this is the way I remember it.
Yeah.
Truck comes alongside.
Pickup truck.
It was white in my mind.
See, I thought it was red, but.
Oh, you thought it was red. A guy in a white sweater is in the passenger side.
Yeah.
And he's like got muscles or whatever. And I remember one thing I remember is you like showing him pencils. You were like showing pencils, and you had that goofy look on your face.
Yes.
As you showed him the pencils, and he got more and more enraged.
He got more angry.
He kept getting so angry, and he was showing us his muscle. He had like a big muscle.
Yeah.
And then Scott, who was very skilled in driving really fast in that big green Oldsmobile, like took us onto the express lane, so we escaped them somehow.
Yeah.
But then when we came back, there they were again.
Yeah.
And then
there was at one point they were like hitting the car with
a riding
some
crop.
stick, a riding crop.
That's what it was.
Yeah, like
right?
why do they have
Why
that?
were they so mad at us? Is what I can't figure out. Did someone flip them off? Did someone the pencil thing?
I think I did.
Oh, I see.
I think somebody, if I didn't, somebody did for sure.
And they were going to risk their lives to somehow destroy us at that point. It became the single most important thing in their life.
Yeah.
To destroy us.
And the whole time I'm just laughing. I was just laughing, and yet we were in danger. We were actually in danger. If they had caught us, they would have they would have hurt us.
Yeah. We pulled over. Okay, and then I remember somebody said, the Nile Country Club, and we went into the Nile Country Club. And we
who was that though? Who knew that?
Somebody said that, and I don't think it was.
Oh, but somebody knew it. That's why I feel like John Townsend was there. That's why I feel but why would he have been in that group?
I don't know. And then in the back,
because somebody knew this.
Somebody knew that the back gate opens if you go up to it.
If you put your car on it, yeah.
And that saved our lives.
Yeah. And then we came back out the other way and drove past them.
And they were there.
And they
the
had
first to come out.
I remember one of them had a tire iron.
Yeah, they were gonna beat.
They were gonna kill us.
Oh my God, we're so lucky of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty much what happened. Okay, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Now, Lori Moan sent me a picture.
Yeah.
Of you, Matt Wright, Tim Ebling.
Yes.
Todd Haas.
Yeah.
And somebody else maybe.
Yeah. Were you there?
Oh, John Townsend.
Yes, John.
Those all had uniforms on.
Yeah, Todd Haas found his. I feel like it was from maybe his dad's company that he worked for, but he had like 8 uniforms that were all the same. So we all put them on.
Yeah.
And we went to Winchell's. Yeah. Is that the name of the donut place?
Yeah, Winchell's.
Yeah, I think it was Winchell's. But it might have been the other one. I'm going to go with Winchell's, though. And
Winchell's was the prominent one.
Yeah, and we decided that we were going to walk in one at a time and ask for a plain French cruller, please. And then...
Why do we think that's so funny? I think it's hilarious.
And so, like, the first guy walks in, I don't remember who it was like to the cashier, could I have a plain French cruller, please? Mm-hmm. And so she gives it to him, and then he leaves. And then the next guy in the same uniform walks in. So we did, I think, how many people were in the photo?
Like 5, 6?
6, 7?
Yeah. Maybe
so we did that all one at a time. I'm going to
put the picture on the screen when we talk about it.
So, I thought you were doing that live, man.
Doing that live?
Yeah, you're not doing that
like
stuff
throwing
live?
Those things up there?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it looks like it. It looks like it when I'm watching
your show.
It'll
look like that when people watch it. Well, people are in the chat.
So go like, can I?
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yeah, there it is, right there. Yeah.
All right, cool. And so, but the funny thing is like, as funny as that idea is, it didn't, and this is going to ruin the whole the mythology around it, but I don't think it played out as awesome as we thought it would.
Right,
like,
in our own minds.
Yeah, I think she was just like, by the end, she's like, okay, whatever. Just like a bored teenage, minimum wage cashier.
Not going like, I wonder why the same person keeps coming in here. And
she's
I'm sure you did it like no one laughed. I'm sure you did it in a very serious manner. And perhaps even like the original person came in at the end.
Yes.
Did another one.
Yes.
So
I was thinking about that too. Like, I feel like a lot of our humor in general came from a couple people. I would say David Letterman.
I would say that too.
Would you?
Oh,
and
definitely.
Steve Martin to some degree.
Yeah, for sure.
And then others, but like David Letterman, I feel like had a huge influence.
Yeah. I was saying that the other day, that David Letterman had a huge influence on our culture at that time, because there was a sort of irreverence. There was already an irreverence that he came out of that I think had to do with the Vietnam era and how we were raised in the Vietnam era. Because that was a time when, people started to get a little disillusioned about America and what America stands for, and we're confused why all these kids were going over there and dying, and that's kind of where we kind of came about. And so we had a different kind of attitude about things, a more cynical, I think, attitude, and I think David Letterman sort of embodied that at the time. Yeah,
and so I do think it's fair to say, I agree. That makes sense to me. Yeah, like he kind of flipped. He was the explosion of all that people were kind of sick of talking about or dealing with. Like, okay, let's go the other way now. Like, let's flip it all on its head. Like stupid pet tricks and, stupid human tricks. Throwing stuff off building, like just dumb
Or that
stuff.
Velcro suit where he runs and jumps up against the thing. Yeah,
yes.
Let's do a bunch of dumb stuff.
And even as he continued, is this anything? It's all just that kind of, this is just dumb, but yet funny stuff. But the thing I was going to say is, like, to give ourselves a little credit, like, I don't think it all came from him. To some degree, he was a reflection of the time.
Yeah.
And I think we were that way anyway, but I think he probably did give us some ideas.
Oh, definitely.
Like, let's go mess with people kind of ideas.
Were you there that day we went to McDonald's and we were ordering food and smushing it into our faces?
I don't think I was.
I don't think you were there. And it was just, we'd order it and we'd smush, like an ice cream cone,
Yeah.
we'd smush it in our face.
Yeah.
And just to see if, what their reaction was.
Yeah.
Now we look at it and go, well, you're kind of wasting food or whatever. But
Right.
at the time, it was hilarious. And to try and do it with like a serious look on your face, or we'd return the Big Mac and it would be upside down in the
Yeah.
pan.
That's the one I was going to mention is I saw Scott Amy do that.
Yeah.
Like you took back the burger
Right.
half eaten.
Yeah.
And like,
And it's
can
broken.
can I get another one,
Right.
please?
It's upside down.
I realized too late, but it was upside down.
The great
They're
thing
like,
about
oh, is
they
that
all-
a problem?
They all
or-
gathered around, looked at
Yeah.
it, and then
Yeah.
the manager came
Yeah.
and turned it right side up.
Yeah.
We were all
Yeah.
like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That kind of comedy, I like that kind of.
And I think he got another burger out of it.
It could be.
I think
That would
they
be
gave
good. Right.
I think they gave him one.
Do you remember when we went to the water park
Oh
and
yeah.
you bought your ticket?
Oh yeah.
and then-
This is a good one.
And
This is a good
I
one.
took the ticket, put it in my pocket, and then you were like, "Where's my ticket?" And they're like, "We gave you a ticket," and you're like, "Where's my ticket? What do you mean I don't have a ticket?" And I'm just standing there, and finally they gave you another ticket.
They just let me in.
Oh,
They're like finally like,
And
okay.
then afterwards, I'm like, I have your ticket, and you're like, "Why didn't you tell me?" or whatever. And I was like, "Because we would never get in free."
Yeah, you
If I
got
would
it.
have told you, you wouldn't have had as much conviction. You never got it. You're like, "Oh, okay."
It was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was the same trip where you jumped on the kid who helps you get into the tubes for
I
the
used to love that
water
so much.
rafting.
The guy that helps you get on
The
the
guide,
grab him.
yeah, and we
Grab
grabbed
him.
him.
And they're like, and they're
Like,
like,
"Hey,
they're-
what are you
they're-
doing in there? They
Bob-
got me! They got me!"
Oh, that was fun. That was
Yeah,
fun
it
times.
was awesome.
Okay, I want to talk for a minute about Chicago because we moved to Chicago together.
Yes,
You
we
had been
did.
there in
Yes.
college where you are now,
Yeah,
and spontaneously,
yeah,
you're going to move there after
Yeah.
college. And you asked me if I wanted to go, and I went with you.
yeah,
I had this idea that I wanted to work at Steppenwolf Theater, but it was just kind of an idea.
yeah,
I didn't even know really if it existed. I knew that there were all these actors coming out of there. And I knew I didn't want to stay in Seattle. So we just got in a car and drove there.
yeah.
I mean, we really just put our stuff. Remember, it was a huge
Kids that we were.
pile
Yeah,
of stuff on your car.
yeah.
We didn't even get like a hotel room. We just like slept at the I don't know, truck
Just the
stop or
side of the
something.
road.
The side of the road, just freezing our asses off. With like a sleeping bag.
Yeah, and your mom wouldn't let you busk.
Oh my God.
That was way
Oh no, she
more
was not happy.
dangerous.
She was not happy with that.
That was dangerous.
That was
We were
dangerous.
way worse than hobos.
Oh, way worse.
Yeah.
And then when we got there, I remember I was at Roger's house. I think Roger's house with his parents,
Yes.
and who was also our roommate.
Yeah.
Roger's parents were like, "What are you doing here?" And I remember I felt like I was doing the tap and die process. Like I
Yeah.
had no idea. I started shaking and sweating. Like because I wasn't sure. I was like, "I'm here to work at Steppenwolf Theater," and they're like, "Do you have a job?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have a job." And they were like, they were so calm though. They're like, "Well, let's look it up in the phone book and figure out."
Let's
where
look
it
up
is."
Steppenwolf.
Yeah. They opened up the phone book and they're like, "Here it is. It's on Halstead, and there's the address, and you should go down there tomorrow or whatever and try."
Yeah.
To get a job."
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. But that's the way
Steppenwolf
that's the way we functioned. No,
Yeah.
no,
No
game
plan
plan
from
whatsoever.
minute to minute. Ever.
Whose idea was that?
Yeah.
Just wing it.
Yeah.
Just
Let's just
wing
go.
everything.
Which is great for improv.
Yeah,
But-
that was a great time to be in Chicago. Speaking of, improv.
Yeah, it was actually.
you were
yeah.
you went and took classes at Second City. I wanted to ask you about that.
well,
now, looking back,
I never took classes at Second City. It was all
You didn't?
Improv Olympic. So what's
And it
called
was
I
but it was like Del Close.
Del Close. It was called I. Well, it's called Improv Olympic now. It's called IO.
IO, right?
There's other people here. That's all right.
Okay.
So so it was Improv Olympic, and
Yes.
Del Close was my mentor and teacher, and an amazing guy. I was so glad that I got to meet him. So I was on a team eventually. I was on a team with Tina Fey.
Really?
Yes, for real. And John Farley, who's Chris Farley's brother. And John Farley, he's been on stuff. Like you'll see him on stuff. He was on, I just saw him on Workaholics.
Oh, yeah, that's a funny show.
Remember that show? I love that show.
I love it too. It's so funny.
So
I don't watch
good.
it a lot, but when
I don't either.
I really like it.
Yeah, my son and I have been watching a little bit, and there was John Farley all of a sudden.
Wow.
And so we got the chance one night. Chris Farley was in town, and John's like, "Hey, my brother's in town. He wants to sit in on our show," and we were like, yeah.
Oh my God.
And so it was Tina was in it, Tina Fey, John Farley, and Chris, and then the rest of us.
Yeah.
And the place, somehow people found out, it was before the internets, but people found out it was literally filled to the rafters. Like that.
Really?
That is the description, an accurate description. And the place was on fire. It was one of the greatest nights of my life to get to perform with him. He was so generous as an improviser.
Yeah.
Like he would serve us up stuff that would get us to laugh instead of him. There's a photo of all of us after the show.
You got to send that.
Just
so
kind of
in the show.
standing there. Yeah, I got to find it.
Find it.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, he died. You know, it wasn't long after that. Which
I did see him also. There was a Second City fundraiser that they did that I went to, and I remember seeing him on stage, and it was just a riot.
Yeah.
I think
it was actually the night. I know the night that we performed. It was the night that John Candy died.
Really?
That was the night we performed.
Wow.
And he was really bummed about that. I remember that.
Mm.
Anyway, it was awesome. I'll never forget that night.
That was a cool time. I think that was probably when Stephen Carell and Steve Colbert and all those people. And Jane Lynch, I remember, was around.
Yeah.
Do I remember the Annoyance Theater?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They did the real live Brady Bunch and the
right.
Manson the musical and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was way too serious at that time. I was all like, man, I'm doing serious theater.
You're doing theater.
And I was doing playing like Hansel and Gretel or something.
Yeah. You were doing Hansel and Gretel. I think we did Prince Charming.
Prince Charming, yeah. I was doing some serious theater,
Yeah.
playing Prince Charming at the local.
Yeah. Yeah. I went and watched you a couple times. Yeah. You did a good Prince Charming.
Yeah. I mean, I can really I can play the Prince Charming. That's kind of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Or it was. So, now I've got resting angry face, so I play, can play those things now.
Can you do a couple lines from it?
Let's see. My horse. Of course it's my horse. Remember that line?
Yes.
There was some funny stuff there for the adults.
Oh yeah, it played on many levels.
There was so many different levels. So the kids would get it, 'cause, I'd fall down a lot.
Right.
But then, my horse, of course my horse, and the rhyming thing people would just die.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was shortly after that the guys who I performed with on that team, we did this thing called Clown Prickerson Will Burst.
That's what I want to hear about.
Which is on my Facebook page, the background image. It was Bruce Green, Joel Jeske, David Schmidt, and me, or also known as Otto Schmidt. We all performed this insane German clown show.
Clown with a K, right?
With a K, Clown Prickerson Will Burst. We had a whole backstory where we were these German clowns. I learned some German actually for it. I had my friend Amy Dwyer phonetically wrote out German for this speech. I'm silent the whole play except for this one speech. Then silent, I have a laugh, but then I do this speech in German. And
in German?
Yeah, and I learned it. I still know some of it.
Can you do some?
Ich habe durch den Jahren viele Bekannte gehabt. Mein Leben ist voll von Freundschaften, aber diese Freundschaften sind nicht dauerhaft.
Wow, you really can do it.
Yeah, I can't do the rest, but yeah.
That was
so I had memorized it. And so we had this whole backstory.
And when did it play? Like at midnight or something, or was it like
it started at a place that used to be an insane asylum.
Oh, perfect.
So yeah, it was this dungy, big warehousey type space. And that's where we did it. We did it 3 different spaces. That was the first time we did it.
Wow.
And Hetty Weiss, we sent out this press release from the director, Joseph Veit, who isn't a real person.
And didn't you do like some man-cow interviews?
Yeah, we did Mancow Muller had us on.
And you always did it as the German
as the German clowns. So Hetty Weiss believed that we were these German clowns, and that Joseph Veit was our director, who only directed us with a bag over his head because he couldn't be seen in public. and so she bought the whole thing. She wrote up this almost everything we had in the press release.
No way.
And same with Richard. What's his name? The guy from the Reader.
One of the reviewers.
Yeah, one of the reviewers.
It's been so long.
But anyway, so then there was this like fight between the reviewers. Like, you didn't know it was real. I knew it was fake. You didn't, like actual articles written about sort of this feud.
Oh, that's great. And that, of course, created a lot of buzz.
Oh, yeah, a lot of buzz. We actually endorsed Ray Wardingley for mayor of Chicago because he was a clown, a birthday clown at one point in his life.
Uh-huh.
So we had a press conference where we endorsed him.
Oh, that's great.
And actual news crews came, and we said Ray Wardingley was going to be there. We had a giant coffin on the stage that was faced away from them, and we said he's in the coffin. We will go get him now. And we knocked on and there was nobody in there.
Yeah.
Like, Ray, come out, Ray. And the whole time we're like hitting eggs on our head and like saying these speeches about we want to have a clown in every level of government by 2020, and they realized the whole thing was a sham, and that's when some of the reporters started getting really angry at us.
Oh, really?
While others were like laughing their heads off.
Yeah.
Some of them were like, so hold on, this is all fake? And we were like, no, this is all very real. We are very...
One of the guys was an actual Ringling Brothers clown, right? Joel.
Yeah, Joel Jeske went on to become Ringling Brothers. He went on to... he did work with Cirque du Soleil. Whoa. He's a clown right now. He's a professional...
He's a professional clown.
Clown, yeah.
Not with a K.
Not with a K. With a C.
All
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He actually... He did. I saw him at Ringling once, and he used to do a bit where he'd walk around because he's a kind of a darker. All of our comedy was kind of darker.
Yeah. But
he would walk around with a noose around his neck, looking for a place to string it up, like at Ringling.
That's great.
So they eventually, I think, told him, "You got to stop doing that bit." There are small children.
That's not funny.
Yeah, that's.
Did you?
Funny.
Did you have stock characters that you did with it? There were like 4 guys, right?
Yeah, so mine was like the child clown.
I see.
So I was the most specific things. I was the most visceral of the like 4.
The bottom of the
bottom of the pecking order. That's right.
Hilarious. All right, we have to end this pretty soon.
Yeah.
But
it's a shame. I can't.
It is a shame.
I'm sad to see this end.
I'm sad to see this go.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about what you're doing now. You were artistic director of a theater company. I know. Recently.
Not artistic director, managing director.
Managing director.
Yeah. So I was a managing director of a theater company called Citadel Theater.
Yeah.
Who's kind of on hiatus now because of what's going on.
Oh,
so
yeah. I mean,
a lot of theaters. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did. I was helping keep that theater alive, and it's still thriving.
Did you ever think of doing clown there? Or something like that?
It's not really the right venue. So this is a little bit, not exactly traditional, but a little more conservative in their approach. Okay. Although they do want to push the boundaries a little bit. This would have been.
Well, one thing about you, Kevin, is you're one of the most creative people that I know.
Thank you, sir.
I know a lot of creative people.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you're one of the funniest people that I know, and I think a lot of my friends and people that I grew up with feel the same way.
Thanks.
So
greatly coming from you, that says something.
Well, thank you.
Because you are also one of the most creative and fun.
Oh, come on now! You're not allowed to do that. This is an interview about you.
Yeah, that's fine.
But thank you. But I want to ask you.
We both like the same football team.
We both like the same football team, of course.
I'll show you mine.
Yeah, show me yours. Oh,
Can
look
you see
at
it?
that.
Can you see it?
Great. Well, it's black
Got it-
on black.
got it
so
at
it's kinda
Pike
hard to
Place
see, but
Market.
It's cool.
Yeah.
That's where I was going to be busking. Maybe I
Yeah,
still will
right.
someday. But I wanted to ask you a couple of things. One is Arm and a Leg. Whatever happened to that?
Oh yeah,
It's a
Arm and a
great
Leg.
script that you wrote, which is a hilarious script.
Yeah,
You probably own
that's-
it now.
it's still out there. Yeah, no, I own it with the partner that I wrote it with. Yeah, it got Matthew McConaughey was attached to it at one point, so I got to meet him.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox was attached to it at one point, so I
Remember
got to meet
when Matthew
him.
McConaughey would call you in Chicago and was like, I'm getting this part. I don't know what it is. It's
Yeah.
Time to Kill. I think
Yeah.
they're calling me back in. I remember
Yeah.
him saying that. He's like, we really want him for this thing, but he keeps calling me going, I'm going to get, they're calling me in for another audition.
Yeah, it was right around that time. It was after the 70s movie that he was in.
Yeah.
What was that called? Days and Confused.
Dazed and Confused.
And that's when we were like trying to get him, and then Time to Kill came, and he stated, like, he sent me a gift like of incense, and he's with like his just keep living.
I think
It's
he's
coup.
maybe
He taught
maybe
me
gone off into the
coup.
deep end now, though. He seems to be
Yeah.
like the Oldsmobile commercials. I'm like, what the hell? Did he sign up for that? And now he's like, do I really have to do that, or is he just like, yes, I am a god? Does he think he's a god now?
I think it's that time in his career where he's like, let's just start reeling in the money.
Let's cash it in.
That's coup. It's coup. Because I mean, he's put in the time.
Yeah,
He's put in the time.
He definitely
Yeah.
has.
So yeah, it was pretty awesome to get to know him a little bit. And then Michael J. Fox, I stole his Star Trek membership card.
You did.
Yeah, so I've still got that.
What exactly is a Star Trek membership card?
It's just it says Star Trek on it. It's got M.J. Fox, like in that like perforated little letters on there, like.
That's cool. Hopefully they won't hear this and want it back. Because
Yeah, that's true.
statutes of limitations. I think it's probably like you own it, man.
I think
you
we're
own
past
it now.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're past.
He called me Sherman. He came in and said, "Hey, Sherman."
That's good.
Yeah. That's about all I got. That's about all I got.
All right, so I guess we got to end this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm
Yeah.
having a good time.
Yeah.
You're working for a advertising firm now?
I am Blue Chip up here. They're in Chicago and loving it. Great work, awesome. Lots of awesome clients. Great work. It's a thrill, and there's free ice cream whenever this shelter at home thing. Yeah,
Nobody told you that. Nobody told me that you were getting free ice cream.
I know. It's
Probably
like
known.
so awesome.
It's worth it. All right, so great talking with you, and thanks for being on the show.
You too.
And go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
All right. That was the interview with Kevin Sherman. Thanks a lot for being on the show, Kevin. This is the end of the show. I just want to reiterate, if anybody wants to work out with us on Saturday morning or Sunday morning with Brian Keaton, just hit me with the IM. I'll send you the Zoom links. And then Jeff Lohman has the trivia night going on. And Ben Gurvich is going to be there, I think, from Australia. I don't know. I'm not promising. But I'm just going to end with one other thing for you guys. We're just going to go out on this. Hopefully it's okay. But, I think it's appropriate because it takes place in a Denny's.
Bang bang, shitty bang bang, shitty bang bang, shitty bang bang, shitty bang bang. Oh, you pretty shitty bang bang, shitty bang bang, we love you. And in pretty shitty bang bang, shitty bang bang. What we'll do near, far, in a
Fantastics.
time we'll spend. Bang bang, shitty
Van
shitty
Dyke
bang
and his
bang.
pals
Outside for friend. Bang bang, shitty shitty bang bang.
Singing it out in Denny's.
You're sleek as a thoroughbred. Your seats are a feather.
We'll turn everybody's head today.
We'll glide in our motor trip.
With pride in our ownership, the envy of all we survey. Oh, chitty, you chitty, pretty chitty, bang, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang, we love you. And chitty, you chitty, pretty chitty, bang, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. What we'll do about near chitty, far chitty, and I'm on what happy time we'll spend. Bang, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. A fine four-finger friend. Bang, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. A fine four-finger. Chitty, chitty, bang, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. Fine four-finger, chitty, chitty friend.